Guys, it's time to update you regarding the Bone token as we got major and talking major utility incoming for the Bone Shibaswap. It's a big update and you really do not want to miss it as we got the big boys giving us all the details regarding K9. Now, the rumors is a snapshot vote has gone live. So Shibami, tell us what's going on the round table.
For sure. So, first thing I actually want to mention, roundtable related, is we had three new members join us on the roundtable this go round, which was great. Lots of valuable feedback on the actual meeting, and so it's really good to have, new fresh blood and fresh perspectives as part of the roundtable. So, I want to welcome Crypto Queen, No One. His funny name, but his name is No One, and Crypto Hero to the roundtable, just so everyone knows. So if anyone sees them, give them a thank you for spending their time helping operate the DAO. And as far as proposals and votes go, we have two proposals that are actually now live on Snapshot. They've been on the forum, have received really resounding positive support, not a lot of pushback. And kind of to speak to each of those, the first one is related to the hackathon at ETH Toronto. So, like everyone knows, K9 is a gold sponsor of the conference. We're doing a bunch of things there. One of those things is the hackathon, and we really value that because driving developers to Shibarium is really what we're all about. And so we decided that we wanted to put up a reasonably sized bounty of 10,000 K9. So that puts us among the top bounties for the hackathon. And so a lot of thought was put into how to structure that and how that works. And there are requirements and criteria that have to be met. So, it wouldn't be impossible that not all of the bounty were given out because then there may not be enough qualified projects by the end of it. But we wanted to give serious builders something to look at and to kind of latch onto. So that's the first proposal. And if you want to vote on that, it's on Snapshot. It looks like lots of voting has already come in. I think there's like 7 or 8 billion token votes in already, which is incredible. That's only been up for 3 or 4 hours, I think. So lots of community engagement like usual. The second proposal is related to the K9 tax structure. So Buzz alluded to that a little bit earlier. So with K9 token being live on Shibarium, it kind of presents an opportunity to differentiate the tax structure from Ethereum. And so what was put forward in the forum is to increase the taxes up to 4.9% on Ethereum while keeping them at the 3%. And this is on the sell tax. The buy taxes are both zero on Shibarium. And what you would expect this to do is give even more of a reason for users to bridge in and start using Shibarium, which would create more TVL and more activity on Shibarium. So kind of trying to guide the value and the value creation to Shibarium, which is what K9 is always going to try to focus on doing. And that one is up for vote as well. Buzz, you may have a little bit more color you want to add to that one, but overall, that's the update.
Yeah, I talked about this a lot in the roundtable meeting yesterday, and taxes have always been the hottest topic of people making proposals to the forum and talking about it in the forum and in the community as well. And a lot of thought was put. I was the one that presented this proposal. There were some proposals in the past that didn't go through that I think are related to the solution that we've tried to come up with here. So it's multifaceted. We identified like, hey, the arbitrage bot on Ethereum is still going, and what we know about that bot is that it's not smart enough to know what the sell tax is on a token when it's executing arbitrage opportunities. So we're still going to benefit from more taxes being taken in from that bot there on Ethereum. It's set at 4.9% because the threshold for a high tax token on DEX tools is 5%. So we're sitting below that. And then it helps us solve an issue of people bridging to Shibarium. So there's more of an incentive to bridge to Shibarium. And the last point is that there's been a couple proposals surrounding like, hey, we want taxes to be burned, or we want taxes to be used for this, or we want it to be used for a different activity. And the language of this vote is giving the management council the ability to use the taxes within a monthly operational budget. And in that budget, we could, as a community, decide to use them for burns or decide to use them for growing the team or adding more liquidity. So it gives us the ability to start using those taxes and putting them to work as a DAO.
A critical function. You don't want to build all that up and then not have a plan for it. So everybody, it's either forum.k9finance.com if you want to be a part of the conversation that eventually leads to the roundtable of dogs, or if you want to participate in the Snapshot vote, then you need to be on Snapshot. You need to join the K9 DAO on Snapshot and be a functional member of the DAO by using your tokens to participate. That's what governance tokens are for, theoretically. I don't know. I guess 90% of the tokens I've ever bought that said they were governance tokens never got me anywhere close to where we are. So I'm proud of the work that you guys have done to bring those together. And I'm also proud of the 3 members of the roundtable for having their first time around. I know no one is in the listeners. Last time we had a chance to talk to Hero, and we didn't hear from Queen yet, but they're always welcome up here if they ever want to come up and have a conversation about it. I'd love to hear from their perspective, since this was their first time, I think, sitting in the roundtable, what they thought of things too, because they got a chance to go on the inside, like the curtain being pulled back as it was, and they got to see how the sausage was made, is what they always say. You don't want to find out. So I'd be curious what they were like. Oh my God, when Buzz is not in public, he's such a bully, and all he does is curse at me. I thought Shane was the bad guy.
I love that. Yeah, if you're here, Crypto Queen or anyone Hero, if you guys want to request to come up, it'd be great to get your insights and how you feel about it. The other 2 things kind of going on in the forum is there is a ongoing proposal and discussion about implementing a slashing penalty for folks that have lost their wallets on the vesting contract. Those changes take a lot of time and come with risk, and so there's a staged schedule that was proposed there. So open for discussion if anyone feels like that applies to them. First of all, make sure you haven't lost your wallet. But yeah, that proposal will be continued until the next roundtable.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
can
oh,
chat
go
on
ahead.
that one as well. So, in the terms and like the token terms and conditions that are in at the bottom of the website, it is for anyone that owns K9, it is the responsibility, just in all blockchain and all Web3, of a person to have the security of their own wallet and make sure that their own coins are safe. And that pertains to the vesting contract as well. So when your tokens are in the vesting contract and you're responsible to be claiming them every month, if you did lose your wallet, it isn't really the responsibility of us as a DAO to help. But up until this point, we have helped people. I think probably about 10 to 12 people have lost access to their wallet, and we've been able to help them move their vested tokens to a new wallet to make sure that they're not losing them. But this does take about 30 minutes to an hour of time to convene everybody that is on the multi-sig to get the transaction, put the transaction through. And of course, there's gas fees as well. And the DAO up until this point has been, of course, taking that time to do that for the users and spending the gas fees as well. And as we're now, 4 or 5 months after the tokens being put into that vesting contract, we started to think like, hey, like the DAO should really be focused on building and should really be focused on using capital towards growth, and thought this was a very balanced proposal where we can continue to assist people. We don't want to leave anybody out to dry, but it gives a financial motivation where people should make sure that their wallet is safe. But if they don't, then the DAO will take a penalty, and that will be used for the DAO. The money will go to the DAO if there is a penalty, but it's a financial motivation to make sure that the DAO is getting something out of it if people are losing access to their wallet.
It's such a PC explanation of something that I could sum up with such much more curt language. But everybody, please go read it, because I'm sure it's worded exactly the way it needs to be worded. Forum.k9finance.com. Buzz, I'm going to go check it out because I haven't seen it there yet, and I'm excited to read it. There's a potential right now, and I don't know if anybody else can tell or not, that we might be having connection problems. I saw 2 people cycle up and down through the speakers. If anybody else is having connection problems, remember, if you come up and it has a problem and you cycle back down, request again, because either me or Funk can pull you back up if that happens. I saw 2 people come up and down. Is everybody else able to hear me? No one's back up here. Is your connection all right? No one?
I sure hope so. Can you guys
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we can, man. Thank you for coming up. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm kind of curious because we were talking about the roundtable and wondering what your perspective was from the outside looking in on how everything went this time around.
Well, it went very well. We got a lot of updates from Buzz and Turtle about how things are running. Been there for the first time. It was quite exciting and interesting to see. So they're doing a lot of amazing work behind the scenes for the DAO, and they have shared a lot of information with us. So it's really nice and exciting to see. Also, I dug deep into the forum to see all the proposals, how they went, the past ones as well as the current ones. I did some comments there and got valuable feedback on it as well. So I was quite in favor of both. So for the taxes, it's quite an important one because I know we had quite a few changes in the past and they accomplish, as already have been told, quite a few good points dealing with the bot, but also stimulating the activity on Shibarium, and so does the hackathon as well. So it would create, hopefully, if enough people participate and create the apps which we are looking for. There are description in the forum as well. I'm sure they will be shared in the hackathon itself. Quite useful apps which will be which will be uploaded afterwards on an open source. So in case those projects do not want to pursue them further, they can be taken over by the DAO directly. Or in case they are interested in keeping them, then it's possible to get even assistance if they are good. So basically it's like grassroots program for the Shibarium. So it's very important because the K9 is the light of Shibarium, as we all know. So it's very important that we have different programs, different communities creating stuff on Shibarium, creating projects on Shibarium. So it's very important to support them. And this will be one of the ways how this can be done. But also because we will need, as K9 Finance, the Shibarium community will be the users there as well. So it's important to create these projects in order to ensure that we actually have demand for the KN bone in the future, because these projects will be the ones which we cooperate with in the future.
Well, I'd like to
I tend to talk a lot. So just pitch in it whenever you like.
No, man. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to put your brain into thinking about all this stuff, because I'm sure a couple of listeners are sitting here going, man, I don't even know half of what he's getting into. That's the point, my guy. That's why we got people like the Roundtable of Dogs to go through this stuff, because not everyone's going to be doing the reading and the heavy lifting. But I hope by listening to him, you're a little bit more inspired to know that's why people like him pass the voting process. That's why those people are up there making these decisions. So thank you, no one, for combing through the forums and diligently reading everything. We totally appreciate it. And I know we can look forward to more updates from you. And I appreciate your diligence, honestly. It's that attention to detail that makes things go round. So it's very cool. Buzz has told me, and I think Funk probably knows about this too, that there's something cool coming up in the whale chat this week that I know a little something about. Buzz, do you want to talk about what's going on?
Yeah, so for anyone who might be here for the first time, a canine whale is considered anybody that has over 400 million canine tokens, and we have a special Telegram chat that's private with all the members of dev team and stuff like that who are working on canine to really give like more support in there. It's really hard to follow thousands of messages a day, but we try to share as many perks and alpha in there as possible for those who are our largest holders. And next Friday, we will be having a private demo in the Whale Chat Telegram of the first ever viewing of the canine product live on PuppyNet. So myself, Shima, Turtle, I'm sure Funk will be there as well. We'll be going through the demo end to end. It'll be an hour long, and we'll be showing exactly how the product works and talking through what it does under the hood. So giving people a private sneak peek into what the public beta is going to look like and giving the whales that before anybody else.
It's such a good idea, and it creates a sense of comfortability to see what's being done, and it's a perk for those that have built up that bag and held it. Funk, I know you've put in a lot of effort to get that whale chat up and running and make sure people are reminded of it. How excited are you to see what I would consider to be like a catalyst event for members to look into it?
Yeah, I mean, the whale chat has been a massive success, and part of that's due to the team and Buzz's and DeFi Turtle over there. It's called DeFi Turtle. Turtle's ability to basically deliver on what we promised them. You know, when I came in, I said, hey, let's ramp up this whale chat. Let's come up with these perks. Let's pick this amount and really like incentivize people to become big holders of Canine and really get involved in the ecosystem in a deeper level. And so we created all these perks, and Buzz, true to you know his word there, has been able to actualize those, as well as Turtle, as well as a lot of other people. I do got to also shout out the hoodies and everything that those guys did for us as well. Sorry, I'm like stumbling with the names for it now for a second. But in any case, it's just for 400 million tokens. It's not that insane of a number for regular people to get to. And so they truly can feel like they're part of a whale in a project. Like they're getting these perks. They're getting to test the products early. They're getting kind of this extra information kind of in a way, and details about the project and everything else like that. So it's really been a source of buy pressure. I think it's been helping hold the floor and helping build new holder bases for us, and incentivizing people to show them that Canine in some way or another is going to find ways to reward them, whether that's airdrops, whether that's the whale chat, free hoodies, VIP tickets to Toronto to go to the crypto convention. We're going to find ways to give the love back to the biggest holders. That's as simple as that.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Owen.
I just want to summarize like all the perks that for those who don't know and might be interested in becoming a whale. Since we put the program together just a couple months ago, we've been able to partner with Shiba Cows, where all of our whales have gotten a first edition canine hoodie. There was a pre-sale from another Shibarium related project where our whale chat got the option to participate in the pre-sale for that project. We were able to give all of our whales VIP tickets that are valued over $2,000 a piece to the ETH Toronto conference that we'll be making a major announcement at next month. We're going to be having food and bottle service at the private cabana for all of the whales at the conference. So there'll be bottles of tequila and vodka and a specific whale meetup happening at that VIP cabana at the ETH Toronto conference. I'm probably, oh, and of course, there's going to be this private demo of the product, and typically the additional alpha, and I'm sure people might be able to talk about it if they're in that chat, is just myself, Turtle, and some other people in the community trying to be much more active there and give more longer form answers to people when they're asking questions and trying to learn about canine, because it can be difficult in a chat with almost 10,000 people, whereas in the whale chat, I think we only have about 70 people in there.
Such a good idea to have that smaller, intimate setting, because it does allow for the more accurate conversations of stuff too. No one, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to brag a little or do a compliment as well. After looking at everything that K9 is doing and having our roundtable of dogs and looking through the DAO forum and things like that, I do feel like I trust the project a lot. So I really feel like it is doing really great, and it can become really great. Of course, non-financial advice, but I did take a leap of faith and actually topped up my holding up to 400 million Canaan tokens. So I'm officially a whale now as well.
Hey, congratulations, my guy. Hit those emojis for this guy getting into the club just in time to get the sneak peek at the stuff. See, there's catalyst action, Funk. We got people FOMOing into the whale. By the way, I'm not normally the kind of person that says buy tokens, so that's not what I'm doing. But I will tell you, every time I've ever had an opportunity to get into a group, an alpha group, I sure wish I did it when the price was low instead of when it was high. Because man, when the price is going up and you're like, oh, I should have been there, it always hurts that much more to do it. So take that all into consideration. I know DCA is a good practice. I don't know what you all do in your financial spare time or anything, but these are all great points. And no one, thank you for reinforcing that. We have one or two more news things, and then we've got Buzz's Corner, and then we're going to wrap this piece up again so I can get out and send you guys back to your regular days. But I was hoping to hear from and I'm calling him out just because I know he'll hear the recording because I want to hear his voice again. It's nice to hear from him every now and then. And I know Dev is deving, but we need a treasury update. Do you guys remember we put all that money away into that whole DeFi thing? How's that going? I want to ask Buzz because Shima's not here, and it was Shima's grand plan that passed the forum, if you guys remember correctly. So we're going to hold Buzz 100% accountable for Shima's actions as he gives us the update today. Buzz, how's the money?
The money's doing great. Shima has a really interesting sleep schedule. So sometimes he'll be online at like 4 to 6 in the morning, and then kind of be around for our morning stand ups, and then he'll take a nap and stuff like that. So it's not unusual for Shima to maybe be deving or taking a nap or something like that. So don't worry, he's alive. For those who are wondering, he's just that's just him. It's his personality. But the treasury is doing very well. So as a recap, we have the ETH positions are in liquid staking products, so spread out evenly between Lido, Rocket Pool, and Frax, which are the three largest uh, LSD products on Ethereum. And then for our stable coins, we have that equally distributed between some lending protocols, so Maker and Aave. I might be forgetting one, but on average, so we're making as a DAO about $3,000 per month in passive income from these positions. So of course, what comes with these is that there's a little bit of smart contract risk. These are some of the safest places that you can be placing your money in DeFi. But we have to be holding ETH, and just like we're holding Bone and other assets in the treasury right now, the ETH position may be down a little bit just because of the downturn here in the market the past couple weeks, but we remain bullish on ETH and we remain holding that for the long term. We still think this is a bull market, and this is a little bit of a blip in the radar. But we're making ETH, we're making stable coins, and it's about $3,000 a month in passive income for holding those assets in those DeFi positions.
Cool, man. I appreciate the number update. And of course, Shima knows I'm just giving him shit. I only give shit to the people I care about. So take it as a compliment. But from the community, we would love to get an opportunity if we even have to meet his weird schedule. Maybe we'll get him in with Frank one night. And we'll let Frank have the update or something like that. We gotta throw a softball over to Frank and tee him up for an interview or something like that. We'll figure out the sleep schedule. But you guys hear that? The money's making money. Which is the American dream, as I understand it. Used to be 2 kids in the car and stuff, but the money's making money, and that's all I wanted to hear because that'll go in the notes. And anybody that's interested, Buzz, isn't there a tracking website that's really easy for everybody to follow along that's public as well?
Yeah, so the DAO wallet is caninesafe.eth, which is easier to say than the full string of the wallet address. But if you were to go to dbank.com, I think that's the URL. Turtle can correct me, and you just paste in the Canine Finance Treasury wallet. It's caninesafe.eth. You'll be able to see every single holding. And if you do choose, DBank is a great tool. You can subscribe to it to be looking at a lot of different portfolio trackers, maybe even for yourself. But if you do subscribe, you're able to actually see the change in these positions over time and see some really nice graphs and whatnot in there. So I definitely recommend going to DBank and checking that out. It's a great tool. And one of the other things I wanted to touch on in regards to Treasury that we were able to update the roundtable on is that we've done. We now have over $100,000 worth of bone holdings, and we've probably had about $60,000 worth of net purchases over the course of the last month or so, as we're dollar cost averaging with the market coming down and us feeling that this is a good time to be purchasing bone. And also presents a good opportunity not just to be adding these liquidity pools on Shibarium, but also using it in the K9 validator, which is up now and validating blocks, and which we could talk about next week. Probably too much for this DAO Spaces here, but also an opportunity to be using that bone within the K9 product as well. So we're walking the walk on Ethereum and putting the DAO capital into liquid staking on Ethereum, and very excited to be able to use that bone and put it into the K9 product on the Shibarium side, and have our own money and our own product be working for us as a DAO.
So much of that treasury update is walking the walk, whether it's the treasury being invested in products like Lido and Maker, or whether it's using the bone that you've promised we were going to use. So much of that is just about follow through and consistency, and I value that so much. So it's very, very cool to get those updates. Genuinely appreciate that. Let's pivot to Buzz's Corner, because Buzz has had a busy week, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a life outside of K9 Finance. And it does include the fact that he will have musings sometimes on subjects that we might all learn something from. So gather round for Buzz's Corner, week 25, everybody. Buzz, what's on your mind this week?
Oh, I have a bunch of stuff on my mind. I mean, generally, what comes to my mind is when I have the opportunity to go on spaces like Mario's, with the help of yourself, Shane, and talking with Mario and getting up there and joining conversations in the crypto sphere. And I think it was last week I was able to join one about a scam that happened. It was a meme coin called Mamba that ended up giving, I think it was 80% of the supply of their entire token to an individual who claimed he was I think he was claiming to them that he was a billionaire and he was this master market maker. He was the market maker for Dog with Hat, and he was going to be able to take their token to the moon. And that made me think a lot about just the great advisory that we have surrounding K9 and the DAO in general to be I mean, I would hope that no one here would need advisory not to give 80% of the entire supply of K9 tokens to one person and not watch them run away. But I think we can all celebrate that there's some great people with not only market making expertise but expertise within the DAO that would or our advisors that would not make things like that happen. And yesterday was on another one with Mario as well, where they were talking about, I can't even remember the name of this token. I think it was called T, but yet another rug where there was a project doing a ton of marketing, and all of a sudden the owner of the project or the dev or whomever had access to the wallet ran away with the majority of their pre-sale funds. So I always find that Buzz's Corner, or whatever we're calling this, is a good opportunity to look at how other projects are failing in the space. Like there's a ton of meme projects that are getting so much attention on Base or Solana, wherever it is. They're going up to market caps that are so much larger than where we're at with K9 right now. And then look at the foundation that we've put in place with the multi-sig, the governance, the DAO structure, the advisors we've put in place, and how much expertise there is in the project, and then start to question people you're talking about with in different crypto rooms or Telegram groups of like, why are you buying this token? Like, here are the risks associated. And hey, look at this project that I love called Canine and everything that it's done to build a foundation for long-term success, because there are a lot of risks out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the projects who are getting a ton of clout and a ton of marketing right now, they're not really delivering on those promises. So what we can promise as a DAO is that we're delivering on what we're saying, and we've set up a really great foundation so that many of these things you're seeing in rugs and other projects who are not delivering, it's not going to happen here because we have this strong foundation.
Such a good point, and I'm not going to let you get away with Buzz's Corner or whatever we call this. My guy, it's been 25 weeks. That's what we call this. you can't change it to like Buzz's trash heap now. It's too late. We're too invested in this. But if you want to continue to bring up projects that are having problems or talking about the things that you see going wrong, man, that's why it's your corner. Yeah, I actually have been watching it evolve into whatever you want it to be, and that was why we handed it to you that way in the first place. Frankly, there are a couple of people in here that would listen to a Buzz podcast if you just sat down for 3 hours hours and talk to yourself with one of those microphones. I know there's a few people in here who do it. So we're just getting a small taste of what actually goes on in your mind. And you guys, if you're not following Buzz, he doesn't just talk about K9 on X. He gets out and does other stuff. And not just the Mario spaces either. I would encourage all of you to, this is just X advice, be a little bit of yourself for sure, because otherwise you're going to get stuck in that crypto silo and it's very small. And Buzz does a good job of mixing in his personal thoughts on X as well as talking about his preferred projects. But if all you do is talk about your preferred projects, man, your reach gets absolutely smashed. So please mix in a little bit about who you are or what you're interested in. Look at how Lightspeed does it. He does a great job. He's been following my advice for a long time. Be a little bit organic on X, and it always helps your reach. And that's why Buzz's Corner was meant to be this. And I actually would like to, I'd be curious if next week Funk spends a lot of time out in the wild, out in the jungle, slashing stuff around too, and probably doesn't get a chance to talk a lot on spaces as himself, because he's either coin merge or he's K9 and things like that. Funk, what is on your mind is something I think people would wonder too. Do you ever get a chance to just ruminate on X if I asked you that question?
Man, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to get a Funk's Corner here. So I'm honored, probably don't deserve it. But yeah, I think about markets in general. I think about utility projects. I've been thinking about trading strategies a lot as of late. I've recently, and this is not financial advice, kind of taken on a new trading strategy of diversifying and only ever buying projects with high tech and good utility. And the reason being is because I just had a slew of L's with meme coins just that have no utility at all. Unlike Shib, who has a fantastic ecosystem of products that are being built on it. Shout out to the Shib main account, throw a follow on that. So I've kind of taken a process of just diversifying, and even just like a couple hundred or 1,000 here, 1,000 there in projects that I really am inspired by their selflessness, the character of their teams, as well as the fundamentals of their technology, the products that they're building, the viability of those. I'm going to try it out for a little bit, but K9 certainly, that's what drew me to K9 originally. Just how sound the fundamentals are, just how ethical the team was, how much they care about every little detail and every holder, and no one's too small or too big. And so those are just kind of the things that I've been thinking about is what makes a project good. And it's maybe a little bit boomery, a little bit stock minded, like towards like regular stocks, rather than like the degeneracy of picking the next lottery ticket. But that's just where my heart is at with the market. So
Listen, dude, first of all, there's nothing wrong with taking L's in crypto. No one's going to be perfect forever. L's are the cost of education. It's the crypto college we all go to. I got a long history that my Etherscan shows you how I got where I am today and what I know. But the other thing about it is that the losses that you take along the way that are teaching you these things are the things that make you a better trader. I will tell you this, a third of my portfolio is still Bitcoin. Like, I might talk a big game. We're out here in meme world and stuff, but hot damn, I know where my money needs to sit. And there's a bit of risk tolerance in how everyone performs. So if you guys, this would be another good one too. This is why we have our Telegram. And in particular, this is why you have access to people like Funk. If you want to have conversations with Funk about stuff like this, jump into the voice chats that Frank and Funk and all these people host. Because this is not just K9 chats when you guys have access to these guys. Ask Funk about his L's, learn together, get together, commiserate these things, because we don't have the time all the time to do it on spaces, and frankly we don't want to do it in public anyway, because drinking and crying in our beer is not a good look on spaces. But damn it, we've all had those experiences. So I appreciate that, Funk, and if we get a chance, I'm going to try and budget the time to make sure that we get a little bit of Funk's Corner. I'm going to make a little slice of the corner from Buzz's Corner for Funk, because I know it would be good for everybody to be a little bit more themselves on X, as I don't get to do as much of it either. So I appreciate you guys doing corners with me this week, and I appreciate you guys getting together for week 25 of the spaces. We literally did not have enough time, no matter what I was going to do today, to get to this stuff, because like we said, it's not just the bridge to Shibarium, it's not just the launch on Shibarium. There's also validator stuff that we didn't get to go over all the way. There's also stuff coming up with the product launch that we didn't get to cover, and there's the preview coming to the whale chat that we still have to convince you to get into. So from here, when we close out this spaces, please go to the Telegram and keep the hype rolling over there. Convince them to throw on an after show, and you can keep it rolling over there. So my thank you to everyone that shows up. The comment section, the listeners, everyone that requested spots, and everybody that gave us our updates. You guys know I appreciate that. I also want to say thank you to the Shib account for coming up and hanging out in the co-host spot. It sure looks good on you. You look good up here next to me and Funk. Gives you a special shine, man. I appreciate you coming through and hanging out. By the way, you had people fucked up coming to the Mario spaces like that, because that's the kind of thing that made me laugh, because I was able to go in the chat and be like, hey, would you like the main Shib account to come to the spaces? No big deal. So thank you for doing that, my guy. They were all twirled up about that. We made an impression, you guys. They know who we are. Everyone knows who we were. So keep it up. And Buzz, I appreciate the hard work you've done to get the launch going. And make sure, what is it, forum.k9finance.com. My last call to action on that, you guys. So week 26, next time we get together, same time, same place. Follow the K9 account. Follow all your speakers. Turn on notifications, replies and comments on everything. My name's Crypto Pulse, Pulse Digital. Remember, I'm not the K9 Finance account. I'm just a guy up here like the rest of you, being a DAO member, voting on snapshots, and having fun on X. And we're going to do it again next week.